What if you could 10x your coding productivity overnight? Meet Claude Code, Anthropic's AI-powered coding agent that writes, reviews, and ships code for you. In this video, you will learn everything you need to go from zero to shipping production code with Claude Code. We cover installation on every platform, how the agentic loop actually works, all the integrations, and what the experts are saying about this revolution. Let's dive in. Installing Claude Code takes under 2 minutes. Here's how to do it on any platform. On macOS, Linux, or Windows WSL, run the official install script. Open your terminal and paste this command. It downloads the latest binary and adds it to your path. No package managers needed. If you prefer Homebrew on macOS or Linux, you can install with a single brew command. Just run brew install, tap the Anthropic formula, and you're ready. On Windows with PowerShell, run the PowerShell install command. It downloads and runs the installer automatically. Using Wing It on Windows? Run the Wing It install command and Claude Code will be installed and ready to go. For Windows command prompt, there is a dedicated install command as well. After installation, start a session by navigating to your project folder in the terminal and running the Claude command. That's it. No API keys to manage, no server to spin up. It just works. One important note, Claude Code requires an Anthropic API key to operate. If you do not already have one, visit the Anthropic console to create your account and generate a key. The first 1,000 API calls each month are free. After that, Claude Sonnet 4.6 is remarkably affordable at roughly $2 per million tokens. How does Claude Code actually work under the hood? Understanding the agentic loop helps you get better results. When you start a session with Claude Code reads your project files, understands the structure, and builds a mental model of your codebase. It uses the full context window intelligently, prioritizing the files and patterns most relevant to your task. According to the official documentation, Claude Code works by maintaining a conversation context, reading your codebase, proposing changes, and executing them with your permission. It can read and write files, run terminal commands, search across your project, use tools, and even spawn subagents to work on independent tasks in parallel. The key to getting great results is providing clear context. The more context you give Claude about your project structure, your goals, and your constraints, the better it performs. Claude Code stores instructions in the .claude directory at the root of your project. This is where you configure project-specific settings, custom commands, and persistent memories that help Claude understand your codebase over time. There are 3 permission modes to be aware of. In plan mode, Claude asks permission before running any potentially impactful commands. In auto mode, it can do most things automatically, but asks about potentially dangerous operations. In bypass mode, which should be used with caution, Claude can run any command without asking. The official docs also emphasize that you should use context efficiently. Instead of dumping your entire codebase, point Claude to the specific files and functions that need work. This keeps the context window focused and leads to better results. Claude Code runs everywhere you code. Let us look at all the platforms and integrations available today. The desktop app gives you a native application experience on macOS, Windows, and Linux. It includes all the core Claude Code features in a standalone window. Download it from the official Anthropic website or the Anthropic console. The desktop app is the easiest way to get started if you want a zero configuration setup. VS Code is where Claude Code really shines for professional developers. The official Claude Code extension for VS Code gives you an integrated chat experience, inline code suggestions, and direct file editing right from your editor. You can initiate Claude from a sidebar panel, select code, and ask for refactoring, explanation, or new features. The extension supports the full tool suite, including file operations, terminal commands, and Git operations. JetBrains IDEs, including IntelliJ, PyCharm, WebStorm, and all other JetBrains products, have first-class Claude Code support through the official extension. The experience mirrors the VS Code extension with a chat panel, code selection actions, and full tool access. The command line interface works anywhere you have a terminal. After installation, just run Claude in any project directory. You can pass flags for specific tasks, use it in scripts, and integrate it into your existing shell workflows. Slack integration lets you interact with Claude Code directly from Slack. Ask Claude to explain code, run tasks, or check on your project without leaving your communication tool. It brings the coding agent into your team as workflow. There is also a Chrome extension for browser-based interactions and support for GitHub Actions for CI/CD automation. We will cover those in detail later. Let us explore the advanced capabilities that make Claude Code incredibly powerful for professional development workflows. The Model Context Protocol, or MCP, is one of the most exciting features. MCP is an open standard that Anthropic built and donated to the community. It lets Claude Code connect to external tools, databases, and data sources directly. Think of it as a universal adapter for AI agents. With MCP, Claude can query your database, call your internal APIs, search your documentation, and interact with third-party services without you having to build custom integrations. The official docs have a dedicated MCP page with setup instructions and a list of community-maintained MCP servers. Hooks let you run scripts at specific points during Claude Code is execution. You can hook into events like before a tool is called, after a command runs, or when a session starts or ends. This lets you enforce linting, run tests automatically, format code, or send notifications. Hooks are configured in the .claude directory and let you customize Claude Code's behavior without modifying its core logic. Claude Code also has a skills system. Skills are reusable instruction sets stored in the .claude/skills directory. They let you define custom behaviors, specialized workflows, and domain-specific knowledge that Claude uses when working on particular types of tasks. You can share skills across your team and version control them like any other code. The plugin system extends Claude Code further. According to the official docs, plugins can add new tools, modify existing behaviors, and integrate with external services. The plugins reference page in the official docs has full documentation on building and installing plugins. GitHub Actions integration brings Claude Code directly into your CI/CD pipeline. The official GitHub action lets you run Claude Code on pull requests, automatically review code, respond to issues, or enforce coding standards as part of your CI process. This is a game changer for teams that want AI-assisted code review without manual effort. The environment variables page in the official docs documents all the configuration options. You can customize the model used, adjust context limits, configure API endpoints, and set default behaviors through environment variables. For teams and enterprises, Claude Code integrates directly into your GitHub Actions CI/CD pipeline using the official Claude Code GitHub action. With the GitHub action, you can automatically run Claude Code on pull requests. For example, you can have Claude review a pull request, check for bugs, verify tests pass, or even suggest improvements, all without manual intervention. The action runs in a sandboxed environment and posts its results as GitHub comments. You can also use the GitHub action to have Claude respond to issues automatically. Configure it to watch for new issues with specific labels and have Claude gather context, write code, or draft responses. This turns Claude Code into an autonomous teammate that handles routine tasks while your engineers focus on the hard problems. The enterprise setup docs on the official website cover authentication, API key management, network configuration, and compliance considerations. For organizations with strict security requirements, Claude Code supports private API endpoints, so your code never touches Anthropic's servers directly. On the configuration side, the settings page in the official docs documents all the options for customizing Claude Code's behavior at an organization level. You can set default permission modes, configure allowed tools, enforce hooks across all projects, and manage plugin access. For large teams, the key is setting up a shared .claude directory structure that enforces your coding standards, runs your internal linters, and connects to your MCP servers. This lets every developer get consistent AI-assisted coding without each person having to configure everything manually. What do the experts actually say about Claude Code? Here are the most compelling insights from the official podcast with Boris Cherny, the head of Claude Code at Anthropic. On productivity, Boris said, quote, 100% of my code is written by Claude Code. I have not edited a single line by hand since November. Every day I ship 10, 20, 30 pull requests. I have never enjoyed coding as much as I do today because I do not have to deal with all the minutiae. Productivity per engineer has increased 200%. On the future of software development, Boris said, quote, coding is largely solved. I imagine a world where everyone is able to program. Anyone can just build software anytime. What's the next big shift to how software is written? Claude is starting to come up with ideas. It is looking through feedback, bug reports, telemetry. It is shipping like a coworker. On the impact across roles, Boris predicted, quote, "By the end of the year, everyone's going to be a product manager and everyone codes." The title software engineer is going to start to go away. It is just going to be replaced by builder. On growth and adoption, just before this episode went live, the daily active users of Claude Code doubled in a single month. Anthropic just raised a round at over $350 billion. And the growth of Claude Code itself is still accelerating. The bottom line from Boris is that the agents are not replacing developers. They are removing the repetitive, frustrating parts of coding so developers can focus on the creative and architectural work that actually matters. That is everything you need to get started with Claude Code. Let us recap what we covered. You can install Claude Code on macOS, Linux, and Windows in under 2 minutes using the official install script, Homebrew, Wingit, or the desktop app. It works in the terminal, VS Code, JetBrains IDEs, Slack, and as a GitHub action. Claude Code uses an agentic loop to understand your codebase, propose changes, and execute them with your permission. The .claude directory stores project-specific configuration, hooks, and skills. Advanced features like the Model Context Protocol, hooks, skills, and plugins let you customize and extend Claude Code for any workflow. The GitHub Actions integration brings AI-assisted code review directly into your CI pipeline. All the official documentation is at code.claude.com. Bookmark the quick start, best practices, CLI reference, and tools reference pages. Everything you need is there. If you found this video useful, hit subscribe. Drop a comment below with how you are using Claude Code. And check out the links in the description for all the official resources, the Anthropic YouTube channel, and the GitHub Action documentation. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.